includes
Nesse vídeo, você vai aprender.
Hello friend, welcome back. In our previous video, I have discussed about basic all that concept of Express.js, right? Now together all that our Express.js basic experience, I want to develop another project. So before I have already complete one of the project as a bicycle shop project with using that pure Node.js, right? So here we have created this project with using that pure Node.js. Right now I want to create the same project with Express.js. How much easily, how much effortlessly we can make this project with using that Express.js. Now I will show you that things with the live example. So for build this project with Node.js, here I have already opened this. So I have already load that things from our project. So you can see that is I have already add all that our source code for the bicycle shop as a done, right? So from here I simply run this project. Here you can see I have run this project with the npm run server, and now our project is now running in our server port as a 3000. So before we created some of the server, and also we load all that our fs module, and into this fs module here we loaded that images, the texts, everything, right? So if you open this file, that means that is our bicycle project which I have created with using that Node.js, and you can see here actually I write this code. They have so many code. Near about that 100 lines of code I have done for make this project done, right? And also we use some of the identifier. So that is all that our code. I hope you already remember everything. Okay, here before you can see we loaded the css, the js, svg, the png, and then step by step we'll develop this total bicycle code. So here they have some of the percentage value, there's some of the different type of id, and there different type of id related all that images, that name, details page, price, right? Now I want to develop our same project. Okay, I want to develop that same project with using that Express.js. Then you will get some of the idea how much easily we can complete one of the project with using that Express.js. Okay, I hope you like it very much. So I want to ready our structure. Okay, that means right now I want to do our server is now running. I close this one. Okay, I close this one. I know better I want to open with the new window. Here I simply open that new window, and previous all that I want to delete it. That is our Express.js fundamental. I close this editor, and also there is a bicycle project which I have created by the Node.js. I also want to close it. Okay, I want to make it from to the fresh. So now that is totally clean. So first of all I want to open our ready file that I have already done for our Node.js project. Now simply open this folder, and now in our desktop I have already created that exercise file. Into this exercise file that is a project 6, right? So for the bicycle I have started that things from here, and now I want to do the same things. Like I select this folder, and now I simply open it. Okay, I simply open it. And you can see there is the same file structure that I have already worked before for our Node.js bicycle project, right? So here that is all that our file, which is totally fine. Better I want to do, I don't want to actually run it from here. Better I want to run it from our JavaScript. I better copy it. Okay, I simply copy it, and then better I copy the total file. Okay, I simply copy this all that file. Then that will be better. I copy it, and now in our JavaScript folder, into this, that is our JavaScript folder. Here I want to open it. Okay, that will be the Express. I make it as the Express bicycle project. Okay, bicycle project. That is our Express bicycle project in a JavaScript. Now I want to paste it in here. Okay, I simply paste all that file, and now I want to take that things in our editor. So simply open folder, and into this open folder now I want to go to the desktop again, and then that is actually the JavaScript. I want to find out the JavaScript, and here there is the Express bicycle project. I select this folder. Okay, our file will be the same. Here you can see that is all that our file. Great. So first of all, I want to create that file structure that I have already done for our Node.js project. So that is a bicycle, all that images, bicycle HTML, the same file that have also some of the JSON data. So as I told you before, I have done it with the pure Node.js. Now I want to use that Node.js, another framework, as Express.js. With this Express.js, we will actually complete this project, right? The same file structure right now. First of all, I want to do, I simply go to this our project, that means JavaScript here that I have created as a Express bicycle project, right? Here I want to update some of the file structure. First of all, I want to create one of the file as a public. Okay, name it as a public, and into this public folder, I want to create two of this folder. One will be as an image. Okay, images. Also, I want to take another one as a CSS. So that will be the CSS. I want to do all that our images. I want to save it in here. So that is all that our images. I simply select it, and also there have some of the SVG. I simply cut all that images. Now in our public, into the images here, I paste it. Okay, and now that is also another CSS. For the CSS, I want to do there is only one CSS file as index CSS. I cut it, and then in our public CSS here, I paste it. Great. So I simply update this part, and also there have some of the JSON data. So for the JSON data, I want to take another folder. I take another folder as a data, and into this data folder area, I want to take our this JSON, all the data. Okay, and they have the two view file, and I want to create another folder, and I just name it as a views. Okay, views, that is one of the folder name. And into this folder area here, I want to take both of this. I simply take both of this in here, that is a views. Okay, great. So that is our file structure. And now if you go to our core editor, you can see that is all that file structure. So right now that will be our Express, and into this Express, I want to change that name. Okay, before that was the HTML, and then that is a overview.html. But I want to change that name. I want to change that file extension because rename. Not this one. Okay, this one I want to rename it, and that will be extension as EJS. Okay, I make it as EJS. So that is our extension, and also I want to update this extension. That will be also as a EJS. Okay, EJS. Great. So when you change that extensions right now in our particular this all that file area here, we are able to execute all that JavaScript code. So I will show you that things with the live example. Right now I simply updated that extension name as a HTML to the EJS. Because in HTML we cannot able to use directly all the JavaScript, but when you change that extension, then you are able to add that JavaScript code in here. And also for maintain all that our server, for the server I want to create another index file, because here we have to also execute our server. I make it as index.js. Okay, so here we will actually work. So that is our simple file structure. There is a data, and there is a public, and in the public there is a two folder as a CSS and the images, and there is a view, there is a bicycle, and then overview, and then that is our index.js. Great. So step by step, now we'll develop this project with Express.js. We successfully organize all that our file structure, right? So now in this video, I want to do, first of all, I want to create one of the package JSON file. So if you want to create this package JSON file, what exactly you have to do? Simply run your terminal. Okay, I simply run this terminal, that is appropriate our file location, and here I want to run as npm init, right? npm init, and when you run that with the npm init, it will be provided some of the questions. If you want to avoid it, then you have to use it as a dash and then y. That means all that answer I agree as a yes. Okay, now if you click as a enter, now that will be created our package JSON file. You can see it's now successfully created that package JSON. So now I want to install that Express. So if you want to install that Express, then only you have to run with the npm and the install or I. Okay, I make it as I and then Express. So that is the Express command. So when you run this command, automatically the system will install that Express.js in your project. Okay, now if you click as enter, now that will be installed that Express.js. You can see it's already working for this. So now it's downloaded all that our file that will be needed for this project. You can see it's now successfully done. Now you can see it's now successfully installed that Express in our system, and it's created one of the node module file. There is a package.json. If you go to that package.json right now, and now you can see there is a dependency as Express, and there is also displayed the version name. So I want to do and also want to install that nodemon. Okay, if you want to install that nodemon, I hope you already know that will be here in our terminal. Into the terminal, there is the npm and then the I and then the node. Okay, nodemon. So I simply install that nodemon, and that is one of the dependencies package. I make it as a -d. Now I want to do and to click as a enter. Now that will be install that nodemon package also. As I told you before, nodemon package is used for whatever the things you will be updating in here. Automatically that will be run your project, right? So here is now installing. So it may take a little time. Here you can see it's already successfully installed. Great. That means our nodemon package is also successfully installed. And if you go package.json, and here that is our server, right? So into this server area, first of all, I want to run that as a server. Okay, server. Our server will be what I have already discussed about that things with you. Here that will be as a nodemon, and then that will be run our which file, that will be run our index, right? So that will be our index. Great. I simply run it, and now if you click as a save all, now they have some of the issues as a fail to save and overwrite. So I want to overwrite it. Okay, I simply overwrite it, click as a save all. Right now it's save. Okay, so now it's successfully done. So now I want to run our server. Our server will be as npm, okay, npm, and then run server. Now click as a enter. Now that should be run our server. Yeah, you can see our server is now successfully running. Now I want to create our server. Okay, if you want to create this server, as I told you before, that will be the same procedure. Here, first of all, we have to import that express, right? If you want to import that express, that will be the constant variable, and I just take that name as the express. Okay, I take that name as express, and now with our required, I want to first of all load our module as the express module, right? That is the express. So I simply loaded that express. Great. And now I want to create that application for the express. So that will be as a constant. Okay, that is a constant, and then I name it as a app, and then express, that will be another one as a express, right? Express. So that is our express. So I simply loaded that our express application, and here if you put your cursor, now you can see it's now show as a create an app express application. So with this express, we can able to create that express application. Okay, simply create it, and then I want to load our server. That means that is our app, and then our listener method, right? So that is our listen method, and into this listen method, our port name, I want to make it as a 3000. So that will be our 3000 port, and then I want to declare one of the array function. Okay, here I simply loaded that array function, and into this function area, I want to display with the console log. That is a console log, and into this console log area, I want to display some of the name as a server. The server is running at port 3000. So this type of one of the message, then that will be executed. I hope you already know about this part. We have done this work a lot of the time. And now I want to create some of the URL. Okay, if you want to create that URL, I have already discussed about that things with you before in our Express fundamental. So that will be the app, and then the get, right? So that is our get method, and into this get method, first of all, we have to pass our URL. So for the home, here I want to pass our request and then response, right? Because here that will be one of the request handler. We have to pass that request handler, and I want to pass two of this parameter object. One will be as a request, another will be as a response, right? I simply pass it. Great. And then I created a function. So that is the array function. Here I want to simply return one of the name. Okay, that means a return. I want to return one of the with this response. Okay, with this response, that will be as a send or method, right? With this send method, we can pass that HTML content. Right now I want to pass only the text as a hello. Okay, hello Aryan. So this type of the text, now that should be displayed when you run this server. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, our server is now running. You can see our port is now running. So in our home, I declare one of the text as a hello Aryan. If you now go, and now that is actually here, that is a previous one. I want to run it in here. Now click as a enter. Yes, you can see it's now display as a hello Aryan. So now we have to create two of this route. Okay, before actually there is a same port that should be work. All right, I have used that same port, so now that should be work into the save mode, maybe. Like, check it out. We have to create one of the slash. Into the slash area we have to load this step, all that our element, and if you click it, right, you can see it's actually changes. So here that is a bicycle, and also that have one of the ID, right? So that is one of the query string. We have to create two of this. One will be as a home, another will be as a bicycle, and then that is actually one of the query string. Here we have to create both of this route, right? Now better I want to continue this process. In our next video we will create two of this route. For one is for our home and another will be for our query string. How can do that work? I will show you that things with the live example. Video we successfully installed that Express.js, and also we successfully run our server, and into the server area I have created one of the route for the home, and we pass that some of the name, and you can see it's now display the name as a hello Aryan. Great. Now we have to create two route. As I told you before, for our bicycle we have to add that one of the home route, another will be as a bicycle, that is one of the string route, right? Now we have to create both of this. So I have already created that home. Now I want to create another one as a bicycle, and after that will be one of the query string. Now let's do that work. For doing this, here better I want to take another one. Okay, I take another one, but rather than I better copy it and I paste it. So that will be our app, and then get method, the slash, I name it as a bicycle. Okay, bicycle. So that will be as a bicycle. Great. And then that is our request handler. That is a two object data as a request, and then the response. And now here I want to return response, some of the another name as a bicycle page. Okay, I name it as a bicycle page. Now let's check this out. Now if you want to access this route, if you now click as a save all, our server is now running, and if you go, and now if you make it as a, after that I refresh it, and then I want to access that bicycle, click as a enter. Now you can see it's now successfully loaded our bicycle page, which is totally fine. But here we have to get a specific all that ID data, right? That means here we have to use that our query string. Like here, that will, if you want to write down that query string, what the type of that will be. Like here, that will be, first of all, there is a questions mark, and then there will be one of the ID, and then that will be one of the ID name, right? So that will be our query string. So how we can actually pass this ID in your URL? It's very easy. Then you have to do in here, I want to do, that is also another method as a query method. With this query you can actually get it. So then first of all you have to write down as a request, and do the request, and then that will be as a query. You can see there is a query method, and now with this I want to access that ID. Okay, better I show you with the console log, then that will be very easy to you. I simply cart it, and then into the console log area I want to pass that our ID. Now into the console area, now that should be display our ID. Now if you click as a save all, okay, and then I want to make it as a ID as a 3. For education purpose I pass one of the ID, and that is our ID as a 3 ID. So now if you click as a enter, and after that if you go to the terminal, and to this terminal here you can see it successfully get that as a 3 ID. If you make it as a 2 ID, I make it as a 2. Now click as a enter. Now if you go to that again terminal, you can see it successfully get this our ID. How much easily we get our query string ID data. I hope it's very much clear to you. So now I want to do here, before I pass some of the string value as a hello Aryan, and I have also passed that as a bicycle page, right? Now we get that our ID. So now that will be very interesting, friend. I want to do that is our all the data, that is our JSON data, right? So this JSON data now I want to read all the data, and I want to do I want to pass this JSON data in here. Okay, in our page, that means in our home route I want to pass it, and also in our bicycle area I want to pass that our JSON data. So here I want to do, when you pass any ID, that means the requested ID, I get it, right? It should be checked that our requested ID as a 2. Then when this requested ID will be as a 2, it should be get that requested data. So that is the simple things now I want to do. If you want to do that work, first of all we have to import it, right? We have to import this data JSON. So if you want to import, then what exactly you have to do, I have already discussed about that things with you. Then that is the constant. I take one of the constant variable, and I just name it as a bicycles. Okay, I name it as a bicycles, and then we have to require it. That will be as a required. Okay, that is our require, and require, first of all, here we have to do, that is our file location. There is a file location into the data, right, into this data, and then there is our data.json. I simply loaded this file. Here I input this for all that our JSON data file. So that is all that our JSON data file. I input it and take the things with this variable. Right now I do want to pass it in here. Okay, I simply pass that bicycles, all the JSON data in our this home directory, which is totally fine. But right now I want to do, when you click as a 2, it should be check our JSON data area, is there have any 2id data or not. So if we get that 2id data, then only I want to do and to get that 2id data. It's very simple. I have already get that id with our which things. I have already get that our id with the requested query id. Right now I want to do, here we have to find it, right? It should be find our id. So for doing this, I take another variable as a constant variable, and I just name it as a bicycle. So that will be as a bicycle. Okay, I name that as a bicycle, and now here all that our data in our which position, all that our JSON data, I take the things with this variable. Now into this bicycles, I want to do and to add that our find method, and into this find method I want to run to pass our id. Okay, that means our JSON data id. So JSON data id, I pass it with the b, and then I declare one of the array function. Okay, into this array function, not JSON data b id. That means our field id means that I have already get that our bicycles, and I'm going to say our field name as id, right? When I take that all that our JSON data in here, when our JSON data id, okay, this will be match, that means the equal our requested id. Here I have already checked that requested id. Remember, with this requested id we get that a specific id, right? So now I simply copy it, and then here I paste it. It means what? I hope it's very clear. So I have already get that all that our JSON data. So that is all that our JSON data. Into the JSON data, it should be find with this property as a b. Okay, when with this b I want to access our JSON data id. So that is our id. When this id will be matched with our requested id, I have already checked it, and you can see it's already get that or all that requested id. So when it will be get that as a 2id data, it will be get a specific this 2id data. Okay, here I just simply put that condition in here. So right now it will be match, and that means it will be find it, then it will be get every data in here, that is our variable as a bicycle. Now I want you to send this bicycle in here. I hope friend the concept is very much clear to you. Now let's check this out. If you now click as a save all, okay, our server is now running. First of all I want to access our home. Into this home area, that will be display all that our JSON data, right? Because I have already get that our JSON data, take the things with this variable, and here with the same method I pass these bicycles. Now if you go, and now first of all better I copy it, and now I'm going to access our home. You can see into this home, it's now successfully get all that our JSON data, that is our 0 id, 1 id, 2 id, 3 id, every data is now successfully loaded, right? But here after that, if you make it as a bicycles, because I have already added this, there is a bicycles, right? After that bicycle I want to pass one of the id. So if you want to pass that id, like I want to get that as a 2id data. Okay, for the 2id name as a hilarious, and then the a50, right? I want to click as a enter. Yes, you can see it's now successfully get that as a 2id data. If you make it as a 3, I make it as a 3. Now click as a enter. Yes, you can see it's now successfully get the 3id data. There is the 5. Click as a enter. You successfully get that 5id data. How much easily we complete this part? I hope friend you like it very much. Simple, all that process, just simply all that 2 of this route. I hope it's very clear. Okay. So now in our next video I want to load some of the page, in particular 2 of this route area. How can do that work? I will show you that things with the live example. Video we pass all that our JSON data in our home directory, and also that is our query string, right? Here if you pass that a specific id as a 5id, it should be search in our total data JSON area, and then that will be get that a specific 5id data. And how much easily we done this work, I hope you like it very much. So now I want to load 2 of this our template. Like if you go to our project, into this project in our view, there are the 2 EJS file, right? One is the bicycle EJS and another is the overview EJS. So first of all, if you want to access this template, right now both of this template I want to do, and before I pass that JSON data directly, here I want to pass that two of this template. So if you want to access that EJS file, first of all we have to install it. Okay, here we have to install that EJS. So our server is now running. Okay, our server is now running. Better I want to run another terminal. OpenIO, just simply create. You can create that new terminal in here, then both of these will be in particular that position. And now I want to install that EJS. So then that will be the npm, okay, npm, and then IEJS. Okay, so that will be the npm IEJS. Now click as the enter. Now that will be install that EJS in your system. You can see it's now working. It may take little time. You can see it's already done, which is totally fine. And that is our another one. Our terminal is running. Great. So here now I want to pass, or in our view, that means in our home directory, that will be loaded our this template as a bicycles template, and another will be as a overview, right? When that will be as a bicycle, here I want to pass that overview template. So first of all, we have to call that our app. Into this app area we have to set that EJS. Okay, here first of all I want to do, after that will be the app, and with the set method, okay, with the set method here we have to pass that our view name. I name it as a view engine. Okay, engine, and into this view engine I want to support our extension as EJS. Okay, I simply support this our extension. Great. Now we are able to pass all that our template data, like in our this response, that will be when it should be as a home, into this home area in our response. If you want to pass it, then we have to now pass it through the render method. Okay, then there is another method as a render method. So with this render method area, here I want to pass our view file name. Our view file name, you can see that is also displayed as a view. So now into the view file I want to pass as bicycles. So that will be as a bicycle. Okay, bicycles. I simply pass that as a bicycles. Great. And also I want to do the same things. I want to do the same things for our bicycle. Then that will be returned. Okay, that will be returned. Our which file, then that will be returned with our render method, our overview, right? So that will be as an overview. I simply pass both of this template in our both of these route. Okay, friend. Now if you click as a save all, I click as a save all, our server is now running. And now if you go, and now first of all I better copy it, and now I want to access our home. Okay, you can see it's not perfectly get that our data, that means our view file, but here there is a CSS images is missing, so we'll do that things later. First of all we get that data, and after that if you make it as a bicycles ID 5, yes, it successfully get that a specific ID 5 data. Okay, it's perfectly get this our template all the data. So now we have to load all that our CSS for a specific this template and images, right? So next video I will actually cover how to load all that CSS, how to load that images, how can make this template locative. Okay, next video I will show you that things with the live example. This video we successfully load all that our template, right? There is a two template, one is the overview, another is the bicycle. Great, two of this view template I successfully loaded, but here our CSS and the images is missing. So now I want to load it. If you want to load it, first of all, every our CSS and the images in our whois folder, that is on our public folder, right? Now we have to allocate it. So for doing this, we have to create another middleware. With this middleware, I want to assign our system that I have our all that file in our specific this public. Okay, let's show you. Here, first of all, we have to create one of the middleware. If you want to create this middleware, I hope you already remember that will be the use method, right? And with this use, I want to do for the express, I want to create one of the handler, so that I name it as a express. Okay, that is a express, and then that is one of the static. That is static our file location. Our file location will be as a public. Okay, public LIC. So that is our folder name. I hope, friend, it's very much clear to you. So when you load this public folder, now we are able to access all that our public folder related CSS images in our this all the template. Like if you open that our bicycle here, now I want to execute it. And now into this bicycle, that is all that our file, right? That is our link style sheet as a index.css. So I have already taken everything in our wish folder, that is a public folder. So that is our public, right? And into this public, there is another folder as a CSS, and into this CSS, that is the index CSS. Now we have to add that our path, direct path. So our direct path will be, first of all, here we have to use that as that will be the CSS, right? After that public, because I have already loaded that public, and after that public, that will be the /CSS and then / our index.css, right? So that is a public CSS and then index CSS. Now we have to allocate that things like that way. How much easy it is, you can see. And now I want to do, that is the images, the same things that will be into the public, right? That is a public, and then the images, and then all that our images. So here that will be from the public, and then the images folder, and then our images 0.png. And then our link will be just like that same before. Here I have already named it as a bicycle, and then that will be one of our query string, right? I copy it, and then first of all I want to remove it. Now our link will be as a bicycle, okay? That is a /bicycle, and then here after this, that will be as a questions mark. I want to pass on the query string as an ID. For education purpose, I make it as a 1. So that will be our anchor tag. Okay, here I simply updated the images, updated the index CSS. That's all. So here we successfully done this job. And now there is our another file is overview.EJS. Here also we have to update the same things, like there is a CSS. I want to do that will be as a CSS, and then our public, then CSS, and the index.css, right? Great. And also just have some of the images. For the images, that will be as a public, and then that will be the images, right? Images folder, and then that will be display the images. Great. And also there is a description, and then there is a headif. Our headif will be just like that same. I want to pass on the ID. I simply copy it, and then in our overview, that will be this one. Okay, I simply updated that our link. Great. And then that is our one of the SVG will be also in our images. So that means here that will be a public, and then images folder, and then there is an icon, right? And this icon is for the go back means it should be returned direct to our home route, right? So here I only want to do and to pass that our home route. Here we don't need to pass any ID, because that is one of the go back. Okay, when you click as a go back, then that will be returned direct to our home. Okay, so that is our home. That means it should be returned direct, load our bicycles. So for the reasons here, I pass that as a home. Perfect. That's all you have to do. Now let's check both of these. It's perfectly get that CSS at the images or not. Click as a save all. Server is now running, and now if you go click as a refresh, you can see it's now successfully get that our page. Okay, so that is our 100% view. Yes, you can see it successfully get that our overview page. And if you go to our home page, click as a enter, you can see it successfully get that CSS, and they get that images. Everything is great. I hope friend you like it very much, how much easily we complete this part, how much easily you get all that our static file. So here that is a simple process you have to follow. Okay, so that's all. So in our next video, I want to render all that our dynamic data in our overview page, and also there is a bicycle page. Okay, so how can do that work in our next video? I will show you that things with the live example. This video we successfully get all that our static files or the images and the CSS, right? Now I want to actually get all the data, like I have already discussed about that things with you. That will be as a bicycle ID3, right? When you click as a ID3, that is one of the query string, and into this query string area I have already get that our JSON ID3 data. If you want to check it, like I show you, like right now in our index, into the index.js, and that is our bicycle, right? So that is a bicycle. So into this bicycle right now we don't need this. I simply close it, and here I have already rendered all the data, and I pass it in our overview page. So into this area here I want to do with this console log. Okay, console. So that is a console log, and into this console log area here, if you console log with our this variable, then everything will be more clear. Like I pass that our bicycle. Okay, into this console log area, now that should be displayed the bicycle. And now if you open the terminal, okay, open the terminal, now click as a save all. And now if you want to hit as a 3id data, now click as a enter. Now what exactly that will be returned? You can see it's now perfectly returned our id3 JSON data, all that name, has discount, original price, images, and the Easter. Right, I have already get that things with our find method. It will be find this and it will be get this data. So that is actually our bicycle. Now I want to pass these all that our JSON data, a specific one of the ID JSON data that is our requested ID. I pass it as a 3 for the reasons that is actually get that our 3 ID data. So now this ID data I want to pass in our this template as an overview template. So that is a simple process now we have to done. So we can pass it very easy way. Only we have to do after this I want to pass one of the object. Okay, I simply pass one of the objects. So with this object we can actually pass this data very easily. Like I take one of the object property name as a bicycle. Okay, bicycle, and then that will be our this bicycle, right? Now I want to simply pass it, so that will be the bicycle. So as I told you before, when our property and then value will be the same name, then you can actually use only one. Okay, so right now better I want to use only one name as a bicycle. So now with this object now we can actually display all that our data. Like first of all I want to go to our overview, and to this overview there have one of the image, right? I have already get that image as our field name, that is our JSON property name as a image. So if you want to add this, so that will be our images, and that is actually our value, right? So that is the value. So here I want to pass one of the identifier. If you want to pass that identifier, that I have already discussed about that things with you, then that will be as a less than and then greater than. Okay, less than, greater than, and here that will be the two double our percentage, and into this percentage area here that will be our bicycle. Right, I just simply name it as a bicycle object. Now with this bicycle I want to access this image. Okay, so I simply copy this image property, then here that will be our image. I hope it's very much clear to you. So now let's check this out, it's perfectly working or not. Click as a save all. I simply running, our server is now running. Right now there is a 3id. Okay, now that's our image is dynamic. Now that should be displayed different type of image. Now click as a enter, and here it's not displayed that image. So here actually I pass which things, I pass one of the value, right? I pass some of the values. If you want to, so when you pass any value here, only you have to do after that. Okay, after that I want to pass one of the is equal to. Okay, because that is one of the values. So if you want to add some of the for loop or any kinds of condition, then you don't need to use that is equal to, rather than right now I only want to display our specific this value, right? For the reasons here I want to pass that is equal to. Now let's check this out. Click as a save all image. Again I want to refresh it. Yes, you can see now it's perfectly loaded. And now if you make it as a 2, now that should be load our 2 image. Yes, it's perfectly dynamic. As a 5, now click as enter. Now 5 images loaded. How much easy, you can see, friend. And also now I want to update our rest of this, like that is some of the name. Okay, name means that will be our this value. So I better copy it, and then here I paste it. That will be the same. Here I paste it. So now with this bicycle, now I want to access that name. I copy this, that will be as a name, and that will be as a name. Right now our name should be also as a dynamic. Now click as a save all. Now that should be dynamic. Click as a refresh. Yes, you can see it's totally updated for the 5. If you make it as a 3, click as enter. Yeah, that is also successfully updated. And after that, that is our discount price. Okay, here if you go if you go to that one product, so into this one product, that is our price is visible. So if you want to display if there have any discount, okay, if you want to display this discount before I have created this condition, now I want to add that condition in our this same page. Okay, here you can see that is actually our single bicycle price. So how much easily we do that work, I show you. Like here for doing this, I want to do with identifier, I want to actually put one of the conditions, that is our p tag. I simply remove it. Okay, I simply remove it, and then here I want to add one of the condition. Okay, I want to add that one of the condition. If you want to add this condition in our identifier, first of all you have to load, that is our identifier, and then that is will be as a double percentage, right? Into this double percentage, as I told you, when you pass any value, you have to pass that as a is equal to, rather than here I want to pass one of the conditions, that is if condition. Okay, I first of all want to use that as if, and if there have any discount, right? So if you want to access our discount, that is our original price, and that is our another field data here as a has discount. Okay, if there have any discounts, if you want to access this has discount, so first of all we have to load it with the bicycle, because I have already get everything, returned it without this object name as a bicycle, right? So that will be as a bicycle. So with this bicycle I want to access our has discount. Like for this product there have no discount, like as a 3 product, and there is our another one as a 1 product. For the 1 product that is has discount, that means it has discount as a true. Okay, now I want to add it. So with this bicycle I want to access that our has discount. That means if there have any discount, I want to put that condition. Okay, here I want to put this condition. I want to and it. Okay, better here I want to and it one by one. I have to do. So that is actually our first one. Okay, great. And then I want to add another identifier that will be greater than, less than, double percentage. I simply loaded that double percentage. So if you want to get that our total value, then percentage value, how to get some of the percentage value? Here we have to get it our original price, then that will be multiple with 100, and then that will be minus our total discount price divided by 10. Then that will get that our percentage value, right? I want to put this condition in here. So if you want to do that work, so first of all that will be as a bicycle. Okay, I want to use that bicycle, and with this bicycle I want to access our field, that is our property name, as a original price. Okay, that is our original price. So into this original price here we have to multiple with, that is a multiple with our another condition. I want to do that will be as a 100 will be minus from our which things, and 100 will be minus from our discount amount, right? So if you want to access this discount amount, then that will be again as a bicycle, and with this bicycle I want to access our discount. Simple. And then that will be divided by 100. So with this we'll get a specific our total percentage value, right? And else, so I want to add that as else. So here first of all I want to add that identifier, and then that will be as a percentage, and then also percentage, and then close one, right? So here I want to do that is will be our else. Okay, I want to use that as else. What exactly that will be do? Now that should be also, I cut it and here I paste it. So that is our first one, which is totally fine. Now I want to do else it should be display only our original price. Okay, so if there have any discount, then that will be calculated that discount amount, and else it should be display only our original price. If you want to display that original price, what exactly? Here there is the same condition, our identifier and the double percentage, and then with this bicycle. I hope you understand, it's very easy. That is our bicycle original price should be display. I copy it, and then with this bicycle that will be display our original price. Great. And then here we have to also and it. I simply and it, and that is and it. Great. Now if you want to check it, click as a save all, and now if you go now and to refresh it, now there have some of the issues in our identifier. That means here you can see I have actually added some of the spaces. Now let's check this out. Click as a save all. Now refresh it. Yeah, now it's not display any value, right? So when, as I told you, when you display that value into the identifier, here we have to use that as is equal to, right? So I make it as is equal to, or rather than the original price, I make it as is equal to. So that is our value. Now that should be displayed. Click as a save all. Server is running. Refresh it. Yeah, you can see it's now successfully display that value as a 14, and that is our another one. I make it as a 5 ID. Click as enter. Now that should be another value for the 3. Okay, for the 3 it should be also display another value as a this one. Okay, it should be calculated all the data, and now it's perfectly displayed. So if I want to add one of the dollar sign here, I want to use one of the dollar sign. So that is actually our this one here, that is our value, right? I want to add that dollar sign, and also here I want to add that dollar sign. Okay, so both of these value now that should be updated. Click as a save all. Now refresh it. Yeah, you can see it's now display the dollar sign. Great. There is a 5 ID. Click it. Perfect. So now we have to load all the data in our home page, right? So in our home page, that is all that our JSON data now I want to display in particular that position in dynamically. I hope you already know, just try to do that work, how to complete, how to get all that our JSON data, because I have already passed all the data. You can see I have already passed that data. Now I have passed that into there is a bicycle page. So how can pass it? I have already covered it in here. So try to do that work. Simply create one of the object, and with this object we have to display it. Okay, it's very easy, all that process. So how can do that work? Better how to do in our next video. I will show you that things with the live example. Here we get all that our a specific ID, all that bicycles in our overview page we displayed, right? Now I want to display all the things in our home page, all that our JSON data. Right now they have the 6 data. If you go into the JSON right now, there is actually the 5 and then 0, another ID as a 6 data. So this 6 data now I want to display in our home page. So if you want to do that work, is very easy. Like, that is our home page, right? I have already rendered our bicycles template. So if you want to pass it, as I told you before, I have already get every data, right? I have already get that our JSON data with these bicycles, and before I pass it directly. So now if you want to pass it, you can pass it with the object. So simple work, you have to add that one of the object, and I want to pass that our object name, and then our property name is the same name. For the reasons here, only one will be enough, which I have already done it in here, right? Right now is perfect. Now that is our bicycles. Now with these bicycles we can actually display all that our data. So if you want to do that work, now go to our bicycle page. So that is our bicycle page, right? So now that is only one div. Right now we have to run one of the for loop, right? So that is actually our bicycle shop, and after that bicycle shop, here I want to load one of the for loop. So if you want to load it into the identifier, that will be as a identifier double %, and then I want to make it on the for loop. Okay, for, and then I want to get that name as a, I get all that name as a bicycles, right? So that will be as I name it as a bicycle, and into the late area I will name it as the different name as a bicycle, right? So that will be of bicycles, and into the late area I want to name it as a bicycle, whatever the name actually choose. Right now all the data I get it from our index with this variable as a bicycle, and now I take it with the late, and that is right now in our here, right? So that will be loop one by one, right? Here which will be loop one by one. I make it as a, or that will be started from to this position. I cart it, and that is our total div. If you select this div, that is div is ended, right? After this now we have to close. I simply close it. So here also we have to add that identifier, and that will be percentage started, and then our percentage will be ended. Great. Now that should be loaded, because there is only one, right? So there is only one div that will be load. Now if you click as a save all, there is a for loop will be running. Our server is now running. Now go to our home page, refresh it. Yes, you can see it's now successfully there. Right now they have the 6 data. For the reasons it's now add that 6 card div, right? And you can see now that is display as 6 card, which is totally fine. Now we have to step by step update our all that data. That means dynamic data. Now that should be display. So first of all, I want to work in our percentage. Okay, if there have any percentage for this product, then that will be display the percentage, rather than that will be display none, which I have already covered before. Like for doing this, that is in our percentage, so that is actually the percentage div, right? Into this percentage div, first of all I want to put one of the if condition with the identifier. I simply pass that our percentage, and then that will be the if condition. If right now we are already into the for loop, right? You can see that is our for loop is started. So I get all that bicycles data, take the things with this variable as a bicycle. Now with this bicycle, okay, with this bicycle I want to access our JSON data field name as a has discount, right? With this we can actually do that work. Right now overview, we don't need this. I close it, and now there is our bicycle. So now I want to add that condition. If with this bicycle I want to add that as a has discount, that means if there have any discount, I want to do here, that will be started, and I want to close it. I simply cart it, and after this div, okay, after this div I want to close this part. So here if you want to close it, also you have to add that identifier, that will be the percentage, and then and percentage, right? Percentage and great. Now if they have any discount, then that will be display, rather than that will be not display. If you now click as a save all, and now if you go to our site, refresh it, and here you can see for both of these products that have no discount, for the reasons is not display our this percentage value. That means this div is not display. Okay, great. And now I want to calculate our discount amount. So if you want to get that as a discount amount, what exactly you have to do is very simple. If you go to our JSON data, so that is actually our discount right here. That is actually have discount. You can see that is a discount amount. So this discount amount now I want to do visible. So if you want to display it, and then here that will be, I just make it as a dynamic right now. First of all, that will be as a identifier, double percentage, and now every data in our this bicycle. Now with this bicycle, and that is pass one of the value, right? For the reasons here I am actually using that is equal to, and there is a bicycle, and with this bicycle I want to access our field name as a discount. Okay, I copy it, and then that will be as a discount, right? Now that should be perfect. Now if you click as a save all, and now it should be display our dynamic data. Click as a refresh. Yeah, you can see for this product as a 25%, 30%, and the 40% off and 25% off. Great. Now we have to update that images and then name. So right now it's very easy. I hope you already know what exactly the things you have to do. Better I copy it. Okay, I simply copy it, and now first of all, that is the images. So into the images, this part should be as a dynamic, right? So that is one of the value. That is our image. Now I want to update this part. Simply paste it. Now with this bicycle, I want to do a display that image. So that will be as an image. And also here, if you want to pass that name, you can pass that name. I copy it, so that will be the name, and that will be another name. Okay, so with this bicycle, now our field name as a name, I copy it, that will be as a name, that will be as a name. Right now that should be also updated. Now click as a save all, and now if you go refresh it, yeah, you can see it's successfully updated that images, it's successfully updated that name. Great. Now we have to update that ID, right? Here we have to update this ID. That means that is actually our ID, right? So into this ID position here, I want to update that our identifier. I copied. That means this ID will be updated. So now with this bicycle, I want to access our ID. So that is a field name. I simply update this ID. Okay, now this part is totally dynamic. I hope, friend, it's very much clear to you what exactly the things I have done in here. And then the price, better I copy it, and then the current price and then old price, right? First of all, I want to display our price in here. So that will be the bicycle, and into this bicycle there is the original price. I make it as original price. Okay, so original price will be our actually old price. Better I copy it, and here I paste it. So that will be our original price. Now if you click as a save all, now go there, refresh it. Yeah, you can see it's now successfully updated. Here also we have to calculate this data, and also that is our star, right? Star, I can actually do that work very easy way. I want to run one of the for loop, and when if you go to our database, there is a star, right? There is a maximum star as a 5. So I want to do, it should be calculated that star one by one, it should be checked. When it should be as a 3, then I want to do and to make that will be as a checked. When that will be as a none, and when that will be as a or from to the 5, when that will be as a minus all that our star like as a 3. Okay, the 3 means it should be minus from our 5. 5 means that will 2 will be as a unselected, and 3 will be as a selected. I show you, like first of all here how much easily we can actually do that. I hope you like it very much. I take one of the identifier, that is will be the percentage, so double percentage, and then I want to add that as a for loop, and into the for loop area I take one initial value as index, and that will be as a 0. Okay, that will be as a 0, which is totally fine. And then I want to use that our index. So index will be running in how many times? That will be as a less than our star. Okay, less than our star means if you want to access it, that will be with our bicycle, right? That is our bicycle. With this bicycle, because right now I am already into the for loop. Our main for loop actually started from here, you can see. Now there is every data into the bicycle. Now with this bicycle, I want to access I want to access our field name as a star. I make it as a star. Okay, and then that will be auto incremented. I want to make it as our index. Okay, index will be automatically incremented. That means that will be as a plus plus. Okay, I simply take it, and then I want to finish it. Okay, I want to finish it. That is our if condition for loop, and I want to cut it. Then that will be ended in here, and here I want to add one of the identifier. Okay, I take one of the identifier, and I want to close this identifier. I close it. Great. So here what exactly I have done, it will be check all that our star, that is star, it will be the 0. From to the 0, it will be check one by one every our field. Okay, when this field will be as a 5, like I make it as a 5. So all that 5, it will be check one by one every data, or it will be get our star value. When it will be get that star value as a 5 or 1 2 3 4 5, it will be make it as a checked. Okay, but right now I want to add another one. I simply copy it and I paste it. I want to put that another condition in our index that will be as a 5 minus. Okay, here I only want to use that as a 5 and then minus. So when that will be minus our 5, okay, here I want to make it as a not checked. That will be the not checked. So right now here we don't need this. It means it will be checked one by one, and when that will be like as a 3, okay, it will be checked as a from to the 5. So from to the 5 there is a 3, as a 2 will be as a unselect, right? For the reasons here that it will be checked as a 5 and then minus our star. So it will be checked that as a that started the 5, that is our last one is the 5. So from to the 5 it will be minus that 3, there is a 2, and 2 will be as a unselect. You can see there is a unchecked, and that is I have make it as a checked. Simple job. Okay, now if you click as a save all, now that should be also updated. If you now go there, now refresh it, yes, you can see it's perfect. So for this ID here, there is one of the 5. That means our this one actually executed. It will be checked after end of this, and when it will be get every data, that will be as a checked. But for this one, there is a 2 is minus, and there is a 1 is minus. That means 2 5 of this as a checked, and it will be minus from our 5. From to the minus, it will be checked our total star. Then that will be display 1 unchecked. Okay, for the reasons you can see it's not displayed as 1 unchecked. Great. And also I have updated that our ID I make it as a now dynamic. Now I also want to check it. Okay, I didn't check it. Now I just simply refresh it again. Like this ID, there is a 0 product, which is totally fine. There is our another one, yes, it's perfectly get this data. That is our another one is the A50. Yes, A50, a specific these two ID data is now successfully get. How much easily we complete this part. I hope you like it very much, and how much easily we complete this part. Right now if you go to our index, and into the index you can see there are only the 25 lines. But when I use that same things with using that Node.js, that means a pure Node.js, then that was near about 100 lines. So that is the main benefit for use that framework. So as I told you before, express.js make your code very smaller. I hope you like it very much. Laterly we'll go more deep. We'll create multiple advanced express.js